So I'm going to repeat again. 9-time all defense, 7 first team. That's impressive, man. When Patrick Beverley said Chris Paul is a chair, 9-time all defensive team, 7 first team. When he went on ESPN and said, we all know Chris Paul a chair, A, what was your first thought? And B, did you think about saying something about it? Did you not see it? I know you don't look at a lot of stuff, but sometimes this stuff just make it to you because they're going group chats,
all
the other things.
It made it to me.
Like, walk me through that time.
First and foremost, I was, a pair of lips to say anything. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. And I get it. I done had many a times in my career where somebody done said this or said that, you know what I mean? And I know people looking for sound bites and all this, but the work speaks for itself.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? So you hell, boy. You hell, because you know me saying that.
I just want to know,
I mean, I still compete on defense, you know what I'm saying, every night as best. I'm probably not the defender I was some years ago, you know what I mean? But, yeah.
9 times.
It's sound bites.
Nah, man, I just wanted to know. I never really hear you speak on anything. And when I saw that initially, so my first thought when I saw that, I'll give you the way my mind was working, because at that time, I'm still like doing the podcast and TV stuff, and I really love it.
Yeah.
And so when I watch these things, I'm also watching as a student, you know what I'm saying, to better myself.
Yeah.
And I be very critical of people. I think Pat is really good. When he did that, I was like, whoa. I was like, damn. Like, it's so hot. And I'm like, if you actually really listen to Pat talk, he say some good shit. But I was like, because when I saw that, I'm like don't become the hot take guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to come in so I feel like that was like one of the first days he came on ESPN, and I was like, whoa, like you won't, like don't become the hot take guy, because I think Pat is really good. And when I saw that, it's just like,
Yeah, everybody has their opinion. And in the world that we in now, is people gonna say something, you know what I mean? At all times. And I'm human just like anybody, and I think that's the thing that I've always tried to do is no matter how I feel or anything like that, even though, man, you talk about it a lot of times. I know the real with a lot of situations and how I go down is that you got to give it that 24 hours or that 48 hours or whatnot. That's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing to do. And, when you let something go or whatnot, like I'm not a guy who, when something happened, I run to my phone, you know what I'm saying? And post this or post that or whatnot. You just, you stand on the work.
100%. I still remember a conversation I had with you way back in the day. We was on the phone. He's like, man, I ain't gonna celebrate when I score. I put the work in. I know how good I am.
Yeah.
I don't need to celebrate. That ain't what I need to do.
That's crazy. I remember I said that because I've always said I ain't like a guy that talk junk. You know what I'm saying? And you see now, like I ain't really on that unless you on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I always said I never say nothing first.
Yeah.
But in competition, I'm here because if somebody say something, I ain't gonna know when to stop.
Yeah.
And we gonna go wherever it got to go. That's how I used to be with me and you. That's how I used to be. But it's crazy, man. It's that competition. And when I'm playing in the game, like when I score, I go from offense to defense so fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you even see it with the team. Like guys got celebrated. Man, we got to get back. They coming to try to score on us. You know what I mean? So I think, in that Pat Bev situation, that's what was probably crazy in that situation, in that game, is after I hit that shot and the timeout happened and I was walking to the bench, everybody, of course, after the game was like, man, what you say to him? Man, what did you say to him? And I was like, I ain't say nothing. And I think that's probably the part that's that's the worst. You know what I mean? Is that somebody would probably rather you say something to them. But I remember going into that game, I was just like, man, I ain't on none of that. You know what I mean? It's just, let's win the game.
Yeah.
Win the game.
Yeah, this ain't got nothing to do with me and him.
Yeah, let's win the game.
Nah, for sure. I definitely thought thought you said something.
I ain't say nothing. Nothing.
One of the things that I want to better myself at, I publicly said, like, you look at some things, you like, I don't like that about myself. And so for me, I think you mentioned earlier, you was like, your competitiveness is like, essentially your gift and your curse. I think that for me too. But when I look at things and I say, what can I change, or what would if I could improve one thing about myself or something that I don't necessarily love about myself, it's actually one thing that I don't necessarily love it about myself, but I wouldn't trade it because it actually makes me who I am. But it gets rough sometimes.
Right.
And so I say this to you because you just really said, like, I'm not going to run and say nothing. One thing that I dislike about myself, it's kind of a love-hate thing, is I have to say something. Like, and that's something that I'm actually working on, but like, I gotta say it. Like, I need to say it. Like, I need to get it out. At times I struggle where I'd hold things in because I need to say it so bad, and I just hold it in and bite my tongue, and then it come out the absolute wrong way. Like, you look at some of the situations I've had, some of them, KD situation, for instance, like, I had actually been trying to work through that thing with people, like trying to work through it. And I'm just biting my tongue. You like, hold this thing and you hold that thing and you bite your tongue. But I have to get things out. And then it's just like, bah! And it come out. And I'm like, fuck. Like, that wasn't supposed to come out that way.
Right.
But I have to say things. I don't love that about myself.